Congratulations, you just entered the system as a hardware courier on the jagged periphery of the Bekaa Valley. Your primary function is logistical friction reduction. You move crates that don't exist for people who officially died in the 90s. Your daily routine is a rhythmic cycle of checking falsified manifests, bribing underpaid border guards with cartons of high-end cigarettes, and ensuring that 400 reverse-engineered Iranian thermal optics don't end up at the bottom of a ravine. You report to a man whose name you will never know, a mid-tier broker who communicates exclusively through one-time use encrypted pads and the occasional cold stare. For this, you earn $3,000 a month. It is cash, it is untraceable, and it is just enough to keep you coming back to the warehouse. The risk profile is predictably steep. You aren't worried about the law. The law is simply a business partner you haven't yet paid. Your real concern is the signature strike, the silent hum of a predator drone that views your Toyota Hilux as a high-value coordinate. Congratulations are in order because you've survived your first month, a feat nearly half of your predecessors failed to achieve. However, you'll notice the physical toll. Your clothes permanently smell of cosmoline and diesel, and you've developed a habit of counting the exits every time you enter a room. You aren't a businessman yet. You are a biological asset with a high depreciation rate. If a crate goes missing, you don't get a performance review. You get a bullet in a roadside ditch. But the deliveries are on time, and the broker is beginning to trust your silence. Congratulations. You have successfully graduated from expendable to useful. You are now the technical liaison for a regional procurement cell, which is essentially a logistics role with a much higher probability of being vaporized by a precision strike. You no longer move the crates, you verify the contents. Your days are spent in nondescript villas, inspecting the serial numbers of guidance chips for Fateh 110 ballistics, and ensuring the thermal signatures of manpads meet the buyer's specifications. You report to a regional director of acquisitions for a non-state actor with a sovereign-sized budget. He doesn't offer a handshake, but he does offer $12,000 a month wired to a Shell account in Cyprus. They congratulated you after the last shipment reached its destination ahead of schedule. You've earned their congratulations, which, in this organization, is a polite way of saying your file has been moved from anonymous to monitored. Your visibility is rising. You now control 3 couriers and a secure staging site, but your sleep is eroding. You've replaced your single burner with an encrypted quad-channel device that you check every 20 minutes, even in the shower. You've stopped visiting your family entirely. A GPS-tagged photo of you at a dinner table is a death warrant for everyone in the frame. You are now a functional node in the Levant's shadow economy. It's a comfortable life, provided you don't mind the fact that foreign intelligence likely knows your shoe size by now. You are useful, and as any mechanic will tell you, useful tools are worked until they break. You've earned their congratulations, though it arrives as a series of encrypted wire transfers totaling $55,000 a month. You are now a channel manager, the architect of the gray chain that bypasses 3 layers of international sanctions to move carbon fiber casings and centrifuge components through the port of Latakia. Your daily life is a study in high-stakes mediation. You manage a team of 20 specialists, 3 bribed port directors, and a maritime shell company that exists only on paper. You report directly to a senior advisor with deep ties to the Iranian Ministry of Defense, a man who treats your life like an entry on a ledger that can be balanced or erased at his convenience. Control feels like power until you realize it's actually a spotlight. You no longer walk in public without a 2-man security detail, and your diet consists of room service in hotels you never stay in for more than 48 hours. You mistake the silence of your handlers for congratulations, but the reality is they are merely waiting for the first sign of a leak. The risk profile has shifted from physical accidents to professional assassination. You are no longer dodging border guards, you are dodging signal intelligence teams who are currently mapping your digital footprint from 30,000 feet. Your family thinks you are a consultant in Dubai, a lie you've repeated so often you've almost forgotten their real names. Your civilian identity is a rotting corpse you've buried under layers of false passports and offshore accounts. You are now too profitable to let go, which makes you a permanent target for those who want to inherit your network. No one congratulates you anymore. At this level, excellence is the baseline, and anything less is considered a security breach. You have transitioned from managing a channel to becoming the operational director for the Levant's theater supply. You don't touch hardware, you move geopolitics. Your morning starts with a sanitized intelligence brief from a contact in the Syrian Interior Ministry and ends with a tactical conference call between 3 militia leaders who would gladly kill each other if you weren't the only person capable of providing them with precision-guided munitions. You report to a shadow directorate, a collective of state actors and oligarchs who view you as a high-functioning circuit in their power grid. Your compensation is now a staggering quarterly dividend of $800,000, laundered through a series of humanitarian NGOs and construction firms. However, you'll notice the congratulations have been replaced by a heavy, clinical silence. Control is an illusion. You are simply the most visible point of failure. You've moved beyond checking for drones. You now check your own security detail for subtle changes in their loyalty. Your life has become a series of sterile encounters. You don't have friends, you have dependencies. You've developed a procedural coldness that makes your previous life feel like a distant, amateurish dream. You are now essential to the regional war effort, which is precisely why the strategic level above you is already drafting your successor's onboarding package. This isn't a conspiracy, it's just a highly aggressive supply chain management firm with a zero-tolerance policy for human error. You have reached peak operational visibility. The congratulations stop. In the rarefied air of the strategic tier, silence is the only form of professional courtesy you will receive. You have become a shadow architect of the Levant's iron corridor. Your daily routine involves balancing the strategic requirements of sovereign intelligence agencies with the shifting territorial demands of foreign-backed paramilitaries. You no longer manage shipments, you manage the very borders they cross. You spend your afternoons in neutral safehouses in Zurich or Muscat, negotiating the price of regional stability with men who consider the deaths of thousands a mere rounding error. You report to a committee of high-level state actors who do not recognize your existence on any official document. Your earnings have transcended a simple salary. You now control a diversified portfolio of diverted state assets and offshore energy interests worth tens of millions. However, the wealth is entirely abstract. You cannot spend it on anything that would draw a crowd. Your authority is immense, yet you are the most isolated individual in the Mediterranean. You have reached the stage of vertical exposure. If a ceasefire is signed or a treaty is brokered, you are the first item on the secret list of concessions. You are no longer a person. You are a piece of high-leverage inventory to be traded or destroyed. The psychological detachment is total. You view regional warfare not as a tragedy, but as a series of supply and demand fluctuations. You can watch a city burn on a satellite feed while critiquing the efficiency of the fire response logistics. Your only remaining fear is a quiet, unscheduled meeting with your handlers, where they stop discussing the 5-year plan. Congratulations are now classified. Your name has appeared on a leaked sanctions list and a confidential intercept shared between 3 Western intelligence agencies. You are no longer a strategic asset. You are a political liability. Your daily routine has devolved into a high-stakes game of digital and physical hide-and-seek. You spend 16 hours a day in windowless rooms, scrubbing your digital footprint and auditing the loyalty of the very men you pay to protect you. You don't report to the directorate anymore. You are summoned to consultations in bunkers that look increasingly like holding cells. You have achieved total visibility, and in this system, visibility is a terminal illness. Your net worth is now an abstract 8-figure sum, locked in frozen Swiss accounts and physical gold bars that are too heavy to move and too dangerous to sell. You have all the money in the world, but cannot buy a single night of restful sleep. The authority you once wielded has inverted. Every order you give is now scrutinized by your subordinates as a sign of weakness or an opportunity for a coup. The new risk is the trade. You suspect your state handlers are currently negotiating your GPS coordinates in exchange for a diplomatic concession or a lift on an oil embargo. The psychological shift is a jagged descent into hyper-suspicion. You find yourself analyzing the micro-expressions of the man who brings you your coffee, wondering if his loyalty has been purchased by the highest bidder. You have reached the pinnacle of the pyramid, and the only thing left to do is fall. The system is preparing to exhale you. The congratulations have finally stopped, replaced by the sterile, white noise hum of a safe house that smells faintly of bleach and old cigarette smoke. You are no longer an operator, a strategist, or a man. You are a loose end being neatly tucked away by the system that birthed you. Your daily routine consists of staring at a reinforced door and waiting for the extraction that both sides have promised but neither intends to fulfill. You report to no one, because in the eyes of the directorate, you have already been deleted from the active ledger. Your earnings, the millions in offshore accounts and the physical gold, have been absorbed back into the black budgets of the agencies you served. You are now the ultimate non-asset, a ghost with a heartbeat and a high-value memory. Your visibility is now 0, which is the most dangerous rank of all. The final risk is the replacement event. Somewhere in a dusty warehouse in the Bekaa, a hungry new recruit is currently being told congratulations as they move their first crate of reverse-engineered optics, entirely unaware that they are standing in your exact footprint. The psychological toll has peaked into a flat, clinical acceptance. You don't feel fear. You feel a professional appreciation for the efficiency of your own erasure. You realize now that every promotion was never about power. It was about vertical exposure, until you became a perfect silhouette against a target. As the door lock finally clicks, you aren't looking for a savior. You're looking for the person who will inherit your silence. The system is a closed loop, and you have reached the exit. It's been a highly productive career with a standard termination package.